We have looked at VLOOKUP tables and data tables. Now we're going to take a look at an amortization table. Amortization tables are useful when considering taking out a loan. They show you the balances at the beginning and end of your loan and the amount of payment that applies to the principal and interest for each year over the life of the loan. Let's look at a possible final product and try it out. We're looking at a bank, Presby National Bank, and we are looking to borrow money for a house. The price of the house is $399,000, and we're putting down a down payment of $100,000. The loan amount, therefore, is just the difference, which is now $299,000. We're assuming the rate, which looks high, is 8.25%, and we're taking this out for 15 years. The monthly payments, as we have seen in other modules, can be constructed by the payment formula, and the result is $2,900 approximately each month. The total interest is $223,000, and the total cost is $622,000. We can see how these numbers were obtained by checking the formula on top and the total cost as well. We can see from a data table similar to the one we constructed in the last module, where we have various interest rates and how much the monthly payment would be. Total interest has been calculated and the total cost as well. But we are going to be looking at the amortization table. And let's look at some of the key points here. We see that the interest payments drop from a high of over $24,000 in year one, to $17,000 in year 7, at which point the amount paid on principal exceeds $17,000 and continues to increase each year. So this is generally true. The amount one pays on principal at the beginning of a loan is low, but the interest rate is high, and the principal then will increase each year. The interest rate will decrease each year until you have the final balance, in this case, which is 0. I will discuss with you now the steps in creating this amortization table, and I'll break it down into 3 steps. Step 1 is to create the basic entry information. Step 2 is to create a data table. And step 3 is to finally create the amortization table. So step 1 is basic entry information. We're first going to create a form which we'll call Presby National Bank. But before that, let's create what I'll call a generic table to fill in the data we want for this example. So next time we can put in new numbers without disturbing the table. So to begin, let's just type in the text with the function NOW, and that will show you the date today. And let's put in numbers. Let's put in the text. Let's start with here in cell B2. We type in date, and then we type in item, price, down payment, loan payment, rate, and years. And let's fill in the item, which is a house, and assuming this house is $265,000, just to change it from the last example, down payment is $30,000, loan amount is $299,000. The rate right now, let's assume it's 6%, and the years 18 years. Obviously all these things can change, but this is just an introduction for information. Let's continue. We go down to our next location. We'll type in Presby National Bank. We'll enlarge it to an appropriate size and style. We'll go down, type in date, and we're going to enter. For the other information, for a house, rather than type it in, we'll just refer to that cell on top, equals C3, where we have the house, and all the other items accordingly. The price of the house, $265, etc. We put in the cell reference rather than retype the information. And again, the advantage of that is that in the future, when we change the items, we'll be changing it on top of the screen, and it will automatically be inserted in our national bank. The monthly payments will be using the formula for payment, PMT. And for the total interest, again, we saw this recently, and the total cost. So we have now finished step number 1. Step 2 is setting up the data table. To do that, well, this was already done, but I'm going to show you how to do it. We type in data table. I started in cell F17, and the different possibilities for interest rates. In cell F18, I put in the title interest rate, and I continued typing in monthly payment in G18, and continued total interest, type that in, and total cost. Just type that in. Now, I made all the fields bold, and if it was necessary to enlarge the cells, I did that as well. In cell, now, we go to cell B23, where I already put in the interest rate, which is 5.5%. And we type in 5%, 5.5% in cell F20, and go down or copy down all the way down till we reach 10%. So at this point, we just have really part of the table filled in. We have the title, we have the other titles, and we have the interest rate. We do not have the results, which are in the columns to the right. We will be obtaining that momentarily. Now the fun part, we highlight the cells F19 to I30, and again on your spreadsheet it'll be blank in the 3 columns in G, H, and I. And we're going to go to the what if analysis. So to do that, which go back to the home page, and we're going to go to what if analysis. Let's find that. We will go to the data, what if analysis, the data table, and